17 3/4. That's how much we were off by. That's how much was driving me crazy. Ha ha, victory! Hi friends, welcome to the bed frame video. I'm saying welcome. I'm gonna say welcome a lot because it's always a new day when you see me. We're gonna give this a try. I'm nervous. I know I can do it, and I'm nervous. We are going to build the bed frame. I have very important diagrams drawn out that include a very special chair that I have that I like to lounge in, my golf clubs, my gear that I already have, and including some of the gear that I will acquire along the way. I am a rock climber, I'm a golfer, I'm super stoked to be taking my golf clubs around the country, so if you want to golf, hit me up. And so I have done my best to plan, but I do feel like a lot of this is going to be trial and error. So I'll guide you along the way, or well, I'll just take you along the way and talk to you about it, and we'll see how this goes. But I think this is the day. I think. We'll see. Hi friends, so I'm actually at my new favorite store, Home Depot. I went to Menards the other day, and then when I was talking to my dad about it, he's like, why'd you go to Menards? And Home Depot is actually just down the street, and there is a phone app which you can find everything by typing it in. And it takes you to the exact aisle, exact bay, and find it quickly. I don't know if Menards has that, but another thing is that Home Depot doesn't necessarily have like the food section, and there's a lot more stuff to navigate at Menards. So I am excited, and all of the lumber is indoors here. So at Menards I had to drive the van around to one of the sections, yada yada. It was just much more complicated. So I'm super stoked to be now here at Home Depot and finding everything I need, and we are going to start the bed frame to then be able to put the solar together, because the solar panel system will live underneath the bed in the garage. So that's the next step right now, and I wanted to come into this video and say I'm looking at all these options, and if you're new to shopping construction, everything is measured in as little as 1/8 of an inch, and so it's like the numbers always make my eyeballs spin and brain sort of cramp a little bit. And so I'm looking for a 1/2 inch plywood, and it's like 19/32, 15/32, which 23/32, and I'm like, fuck, what is this? What? And so I looked up, like, because some of them do say 1/2 inch, and then so I was just really curious. And so I found this little chart that tells me what a 1/2 inch, a third, a quarter, a third. So learning, I love the learning part of this. I really do. It's quite fascinating. Again, it's a little stressful, but then once you figure it out, you're like, oh dang. So just another tip. If you want to do it, you can do it. You really can. Thank you, Google, and my dad, and everyone else who wants to pitch into this knowledge. Well, I wouldn't call today a failure, but I don't think I'd call it a win either. One win, I learned how to use a table saw. Today was awesome at Home Depot, and feeling good overall, feeling sort of defeated in the moment. I felt like bogged down by all the things to consider. I'm just trying to build the bed frame, but that includes considering the solar, the wiring, the mattress even, the storage space, and then trying to learn the skill of putting up the furring strips, like screwing wood to metal, metal to wood, and then also framing and joinery. So I was kind of like, and it became 11 o'clock very quickly, and I was like, I just felt like I had made more of a mess than I had achieved anything, which I'm sure there's progress, but just figured I'd share that aspect of the build because I was able to cut like the tall pieces that will end up being the bed frame. But then when I thought about the joinery and putting it all together, I was like, how? And so I started practicing using my Craig jig and felt extra defeated. So I will update you more. I also think I'm gonna need to relocate this situation over to my mom's house because setup and takedown situation, because I'm here at the shop. By the time I set up, I can get some stuff done, and then I have to think about how long it'll take me to take down. So I am gonna propose to my mom that I set up a station at her house and it'd be permanent. So wish me luck. Not a loss today, just doesn't feel like a raving win. Another day, this too shall pass. Hey friends, welcome back to this van build. I'm saying welcome back because although it's mid-video for you, it's like a whole week later for me. I had been building the bed frame and trying to figure things out, and it took me quite some time to get over my fear of drilling into my metal, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. And also, so the thing we're doing right now is setting up furring strips, but the other, also, I live on a corner, like an intersection, so there's going to be lots of vehicles driving by while we record. We're just going to have to get used to that together. And a lot of gapers delay. I get half the projects done because now I'm on full display in the middle of the city. So, drilling into the metal, also joinery, putting two pieces of wood together to create a corner. That was pretty intimidating to me, learning how to use a Craig jig and all that stuff. So I actually, a couple weeks back, put up a how to use a Craig jig for joinery purposes, and it's hilarious to me. I don't know if it's hilarious to you, but I am very clear that I have decided that this vlog is for beginners to talk about the pains and joys of learning how to build anything. So what we're gonna do today is work on the furring strips, and I'm hoping to get the bed frame built. We'll see how that goes. Just learning a lot. So let me see, I'm gonna set you up right here while we do this. I have one in, I have a few in behind me. So I had drilled some holes that I didn't want to leave open, I drilled some holes unsuccessfully that I didn't want to leave open, so I used them, and that meant that they went in at an angle. That also, the angle situation is kind of interesting because everything is so custom in the van because like nothing is equal. So I'm just trying to do a lot of like configuring on how to get these strips in, because you can't even cut them to the real true size that you want either. There's something there. The size that you want, because there's no way to really get them in. So whatever you can do, every van is going to be custom. I think that's what's important about these builds, is you're learning the skill, not necessarily the exact like dimensions or anything of that nature. So we have our drill bit. So one thing I'm going to tell you, which I learned, because there are plenty of ways to do all of this. So I got self-drilling screws. These are Everbuild. I'm not particular on the brand, but these are number 8, 1.5 inch. That is going to go through the pieces that I am making. These are 2x4s split in half. That is just perfect for me. It's what I have, and so I'm using them. And so this is self-drilling. So what self-drilling means is that it's got this drill bit on the tip of the screw. I don't know if that's helpful at all. Yeah, so you can see the drill bit on the tip. That means it's gonna drill, it's gonna force its way through, and then it's gonna go in. So it will go into the metal and then that far into the screw, into the wood. So safety first. There are metal shavings that go flying, and that's a little crazy too. And so I have some wiring already installed. These are for the back lights. So obviously those are something else to consider. I am drilling into this portion here underneath because that way these heads don't lay flat. If you can see this here, these heads don't lay flat. But since I'm drilling them on that divot part, it doesn't come out further than this. Therefore, when I put a piece of plywood up against it, it's gonna lay pretty flat without any disruption. So without further ado, we're gonna go for this. And it does, as you can see, bends the metal. At the first one or two I saw, I was like, oh, I'm ruining my van, but I'm literally ruining my van. That's the whole point, right? Is modifying. I am modifying my van, and that includes reshaping the metal. So that's what we're doing here. Because it is so secure, like that ain't going nowhere. So I can put my bed on this and feel real good about it, even though you're gonna see this gap right here because we have 2 screws. Very sturdy, very good. I'm sure you can watch a million videos and find a million ways. I think you really have to do what works for you, and specifically what works for your van, because it's not going to fit. It's not a one size fits all, and these things are just made so differently. So all the things I've watched, I'm like, yeah, that's great, and like it may not work for what I'm working with or creating. Okay, folks, welcome back. After a little bit of trial and error, which, by the way, get yourself a good laugh in a second. That's my, I don't know if you can see my attempt at liquid gluing. I was trying to just do a reach over, and that was not effective. So I brought the board back down to be able to do this real quick. I'm telling you, my whole life changed after we did the subfloor, after I did this glue on the subfloor, when I realized exactly how reliable it is. I'm pretty stoked on it. So if it is not on your radar for these projects, it could, should be. So wouldn't hurt. It's definitely reinforcing. And then getting wood glue for the wood on wood. But I really so I kept saying liquid nails, but I actually use Loctite Power Grab, the ultimate, because it goes metal to wood. And I really like the grab for it. I just feel so much more solid. The whole subfloor is reinforced that way, and I just recommend it. So you can see there a little bit. You can see that I got all that glue put up. We're gonna get this put up and just press it. And then I am making sure that what I cut is all the way to the back wall. It doesn't really matter. My wheel well has a little gap here. I am gonna reinforce this with probably a 2x2. And then something that I did before hitting record was I marked where all my furring strips are on, where all the furring strips are on this, behind this board, so that I don't have to create a bunch of problems. And then just making sure that you don't bow the wood. Just catch it. Should be good there. For those of you wondering, I am going to install, and oh, you got dirty. We're gonna have to sweep her off first. Okay, so we got that up. Rock solid. Boom. I did some measurements and some configuration, but I'm going to do a more specific one now that we actually have these installed, these 2 walls, for the special surprise unit you feature. So excited. Okay, so we are 67 inches here. 67 inches, 67 inches. Let's see if it's 67 inches everywhere. That's gonna be the real test. 67. Let's go further out. 67. Ooh, ow, pinky. 67, you guys. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You wanna know what I did not do before putting those two walls up? I bet you already know. I did not insulate it. I was too excited. I was too nervous. I didn't insulate my bed frame. And I'm gonna take those two down. That's not so hard. I did glue it though, and that glue is working on drying. I did not insulate it. There's one thing I will say about myself. I don't like to learn the same mistake twice. So lucky for me, I learned it very early. Also, fun fact, got my first finger clip, winging it right now while I clipped it on the edge of a little blade there, so safety first. Safety first. Okie dokie, friends. Same braids, different day. So what I ended up doing, and I still have some extra, so I'm going to work with this rigid foam board because I'm trying to still go no waste. However, last night when I was chopping this up, first I was chopping this up and then the mosquitoes were chopping me up. So I didn't last very long after my disappointing takedown. And something I'd like to say for a quick moment was I was pretty bummed last night. I was like, damn it. Damn it. Although that fan looks good, eh? I'll tell you about that later. I was bummed and I'm like, oh man, they're all gonna laugh at me. There's definitely the, being willing to put yourself out there the way that I am and share the making of this. I anticipate people coming in the comments like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. Who told you how to do that? You should have studied before. I wasn't born with the research bone, at least when it comes to, and I still believe this can go up with just as much necessary research as possible. So, doing my best, and I'm gonna let that go. And then there was something I was thinking about while I was packing up is like, you have to let them see you fail. Fail and fail forward. That if there's no way to success without failure. And I don't mean to sound like a motivational speaker, and yet I am one. That there are so many people unwilling to mess it up, look dumb, look silly, look stupid, look unprofessional, unprepared, that they never achieve anything that they really dream of or desire. And I'm not one of those people. I would much rather look silly doing it. Look at this rigid foam board insulation right now. It's just stuffing it. I wanted it to be tight and all, but anyways, that's why I ended up, and look, here's all my wasted. Anyways, it's okay. It's okay. It's all gonna look good and it's all gonna get done. I'm gonna fill these spots, so I'm going to use as much rigid foam board as possible. I still don't want to waste anything, and the rigid foam board it's too rigid for a lot. If you are a person without a muffler, I might have judgments about you. Okay, so the rigid foam board isn't good for much else, and so I'm just trying to utilize it as much as possible. However, it's rigid, so getting it into the creases and crevices is a challenge. Do you guys like my masking tape bandage? It is what it is. Okay, so also this caused me to, I fixed it up as a little nick. I'll show you later when I take it out, but the same thing is they're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. But guess what? They're all gonna laugh at you. So the fuck what? This is the part. I did this in business, done this to play college basketball, live for a few months or years like no one else will, so you can live forever like no one else can, right? I still plan on this build being 3 months. That's my plan. That's what I'm accounting for. And if it goes longer, then fine, great, I'll figure that part out. However, this is a very small time of stress compared to the years I will get to enjoy this van and the country in this van, and for the overwhelm, the anxiety, the stressors, the back and forth I was just talking to two friends about like messing up and having to go back to Home Depot 100 times, and like that's literally the name of the game with construction, so like no big deal. So we're gonna fill this in. I'm gonna cut up this foam board. We're gonna do our best. I'm gonna do my best, and then we're gonna get some of this bed frame up. I have about 3 hours window today, so we'll see how far we get. Let's do it. Okay, friends, it's time to put up the panels. For real, for real. Do you think so? Or do you think I'll have to take them down again? So the trick to this part is gonna be the glue plus also lining up all my nail screw holes. Let's see what we got going on here. For us. Woo! Zing, 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 zing. Oh, this feels so good. In fact, I was talking to my friend Michelle about this. She's like, her and her husband Rich built out a van, and she's like, oh honey, we had to take down our stuff like 5 times. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Because you get so excited about everything you're doing, and then you gotta redo it. Or we were also talking about how like you become kind of fixated on just wanting to work on the van at all times, which is easy to want to do. Found that one, man. Alright, I might get a little further in this bedroom than I thought today. Bed frame going up today. Y'all might hear some radio in the background. Mom's working on the porch. I'm working in the van. Custom build. Custom build. Stay tuned, folks. Doing it, doing it, doing it. Okay, it ain't perfect, but it feels perfect because I did it. Sturdy as shit. Okay, so we're gonna have a chair that slides back there. This is where all the solar is gonna go. And then this is gonna be closer in the middle. I am gonna be building it booth style so that if ever I happen to change my mind, I can build like a Murphy bed, but I'm gonna build a pretty permanent bed, but I'm gonna leave this middle spot right here open. Booth, like I said, for feet. I'll fill it in with totes while I am using it that way, but it looks a little crooked, but you know what? It's only because I don't have anything right there. Like that would be pretty straight. I'm gonna have a shelf here and a shelf here. That's what I'm working on right now, because over this area is gonna be my work desk. So this will be like actually under my desk, some storage. I am doing my best. Like the only real space waste is gonna be like right above the wheel well. I'm gonna insulate that and cover it a little bit and then close this off right here. So as little space waste as possible. I learned this in the camper. So you'll see, that's why this bed is taking so long, because it's actually like a super intricate plan as far as what it's gonna store. But it's feeling better and better every moment. Woo! Woohoo! Stay tuned. Can you see the vision? This is not sealed up at all just yet, but baby, we gonna be golfing all over the country. What you know about that? Happy gal. So that is solid, sturdy. Not solid enough yet, but that's where what is about to come in right now is our tweeners that are going to support very much like, let me show you over here. So like so, and I'm just going to be real straight with you. We're figuring it out as we go, so we'll see when we get there. Hey friend, thank you for tuning in to another episode of this van build. This bed frame is going to come in multiple videos because it took me multiple attempts to start. So enjoy a few videos of me testing the strength before we move on to the next step. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you how I built my outdoor table as a part of this bed frame. Thanks for following along. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. Don't forget to share with all your friends.